Hello students, welcome to Trunkie Academy. Since we were studying about the animal husbandry, okay, and management of the different types of animals for uh, getting some products, okay, we studied about the cattle farming for production of milk, okay, and then we studied about the poultry farming, correct, and then today we'll study about the fish farming, okay, also called fishery. So fishery means it is the care and management of different types of important fishes breeds to obtain the right. So we'll write here fish production. First bit, then this is giving the heading. Fish is fish is a cheap source of animal protein for our food. Okay. When you go to higher classes, you will know that, and when you study that 21 types of amino acids are found in nature by which proteins are formed, and there are some kind of amino acids that is not synthesized in our body, so that must be supplied with diet. Okay, means the amino acids which forms the protein. Amino acids are monomeric unit of the protein, and that must be supplied with the diet. So hence, uh, these amino acids are called essential amino acids. Okay, so that needs to be supplied for the diet means we need to take some proteinaceous food, food rich in protein, and this fish is a cheap source of animal protein from which we get some essential amino acid. Okay, there are some amino acids that can be synthesized in our body, but some cannot be synthesized. For that reason, we need to eat some protein rich food. Okay, so no. So fishery is basically of two types. Okay. Now what we apart from this protein, fish liver oil is rich in this vitamin A and D. Okay. So it's not only the protein, because this also plays an important role, and this is the vitamin A and vitamin D. Vitamin D. So fisheries are of two types. Okay. You can say fin fishery and another is the shell fishery. So basically there are two types. Okay. In this include fin fishery means including capturing, management, and exploitation of cartilaginous and bony fishes. When we talk about the fin fishery, it means includes the cartilaginous fish and bony fish. But when it says shell fisheries, it includes the capturing, management, and exploitation of crustacean, prawns, crabs, mollusks, etc. Okay, so that difference. So when we say fishery, so it doesn't mean that only the fish, the rohu, katla, etc. Apart from that, uh, the mollusks, crabs, the prawn, okay, these are also comes under fishery, but these since comes these are different types, okay, and it comes under the shell fishery. So here we will write that um, includes capturing management, okay, and exploitation, exploitation of cartilaginous and bony fishes. Okay. In case of this, it comes. It's similarly here also includes capturing management and exploitation, exploitation exploitation of crustaceans. Crustacean is a one class, a group of arthropods. Okay, uh, that is little different from the insects. Okay, and some crustaceans are crustaceans that are aquatic. That means the prawn is actually not vertebrates like the fishes. Okay, do not belong to chordate. Okay, does not come under the phylum Chordata, but it belongs to phylum Arthropoda. Okay, so exploitation of crustaceans, that means the prawns, crabs, and mollusks. Okay, so here we have got oyster, pearl oyster, mussels, etc. Okay, so basically the two types when we talk about the fishery, the fin fishery and shell fishery. Okay, as I told you, okay, the fishery which includes the production of fishes like rohu, catla, and brigla. Okay, and what with the uh, some other fishes, marine fishes, bony fishes, or cartilaginous fishes, then it is the fin fishery. Okay, shell fishery is, it includes the production and management exploitation of the crustaceans like prawns, crabs, okay, and the mollusks like oyster, mussels, etc. Okay, so these are the two types. Okay, but again depending on the mode of obtaining fish, fisheries are in two types. Okay, how we manage, how we produce. Okay, depending on the production. Okay, depending on the mode of obtaining fish. Okay, getting the fish production, so that are also are two types. So that again, so we write depending on the mode of obtaining fish. Fish fisheries are of two types. Fisheries are of two types. Okay, so here we say I got number one is the capture fishery, capture fishing or fishery, capture fishing. Okay, and there is another one is the culture fishing, culture fishing or fishery. Okay, when we say this capture fishing, it means the fish is caught from water. Okay, both marine and inland. Marine means the seas and the ocean. Inland means the maybe the river, lakes, ponds, etc. Inland meaning the land. Okay. So here simply the fish is caught. It's simply the catching of fishes from the water bodies. Okay. So fish is caught. Okay. From oh, from water bodies. Okay. And here water bodies, when we say water bodies, means it can be marine or freshwater both, marine as well as inland, marine and inland. Okay. Now in case of culture fishing, it is cultivating. We are using the seeds, we are using the technique of breedings, we are allowing the reproduction of the fishes, breeding, and then the growth and their management. Okay. And then they are acquiring and obtaining the fish for different purposes. So that is the culture fishing or culture fishery. Okay. So it is cultivating of fish, it is cultivating, cultivating, rearing, and harvesting. After they are fully matured and formed, then harvesting of fish. Okay. So culture fishery is also called fish farming. Culture fish fishing is also called fish farming. Okay. So it means that this is the second one. The culture fishing is more important, because you see, if we are going to catch fishes from the water bodies, okay, so that means we are not allowing, we are normal growth, normal population, from the normal population we are taking. And if this the capturing of fishes from the water bodies is exceeding, the rate of capturing is exceeding the rate of production, so then there will be reduction in their population. Okay. But in case of culture fishing, we are cultivating, we are growing, we are rearing, we are doing breeding of the fishes, and then we are harvesting once they are fully matured. Okay. So that means culture fishing is called fish farming, like we do in case of the other farming. Okay. So fish farming, and this fish farming is also called pisciculture or aquaculture, also called pisciculture, because it is the Pisces belong to the okay, so called pisciculture or aquaculture. Okay. So that means it is a pisciculture. Now if we say aquaculture, it doesn't mean that only the fishes, there are so many things that comes under the aquaculture. Okay. And but this fish farming is included under the aquaculture. Okay. Now we'll see the marine fisheries, about the marine fisheries, because we know the types of fishes that are present in the marine water, they are different from the freshwater, because the environment, okay, in the sea or in the sea water is different from the water that is in the freshwater water bodies. When we say freshwater water bodies, means if the lakes, rivers, ponds, etc., where the water is not salty, the salinity of the water is less, much less, or you can say is quite different. Okay. And the water in the sea and ocean, it is saline, the salt content is very high. Okay. So accordingly, the fishes that is present in the marine water or saline water and in the fresh water, they are also different. Okay. So First we write the marine fisheries. Okay, so we will study about the marine fisheries. So our marine fishery resources includes 7,500 kilometer coastline of extensive deep sea. Are you getting my point? So 7,500. In India, we have got coastal line, coastal area, the peninsular area. Okay, so coastal area. From there, marine fishery is done, and this is about some kind of you know, deep in the water. Okay, and an extensive deep sea means we need to not only the the fishes which are present near the surface, but also at the deeper layer of the seas and ocean. Okay, so in case of the marine, includes, in India we are talking about India, includes 7,500 kilometers coastline, or you can say coastal line, and extensive deep sea. Okay, so that how it is. Number two point which is important is that a popular marine fishes variety, popular marine fish variety include pomfret, okay, mackerel. These are the common, famous. Okay, mackerel, tuna, sardine. All of these all are marine fishes. Bombay duck, Bombay duck. Okay, then eel. This is a cartilaginous. Salmon. Okay, and hilsa. Hilsa is also marine fishes, very much famous in Bangladesh and West Bengal. Okay, so these are the examples of the marine fishes. In your examination, these examples may be asked, or examples may be already be given, and you may be asked uh, which of the following is the marine fishes. Okay, so that way the question may be asked. Okay. Marine fishes are caught by, there are some methods of catching. Okay, by traditional method and modern method. Okay, when the technology was not much advanced. Okay, when the culture of the fishes were not much familiar, and uh, the fish farmer, they were not much aware of the techniques. Nowadays, there are so many things has been discovered, like micro encapsulated diet, small a kind of a tablet like a diet or tablet which is given to the in the water bodies for the fishes to grow rapidly. Okay, and there are so many other things. Okay, by injecting the hormone, the pituitary gland, taking out the pituitary gland and taking the hormone that is present in the pituitary gland of the fish, and then injecting into the fish to grow faster. Okay, the growth hormone. Okay? So there are so many other techniques. Now aquaculture, the species culture is advanced nowadays. Okay, but when these were not advanced, there was traditional method. Okay, so marine fishes are caught by two methods, that was traditional and the modern. So okay, so marine fishes are caught by two methods. Okay, caught by two methods, and number one is the number one is the traditional method. Traditional method. Okay. So what is this traditional method? These include fishing nets. Very simple, very simple. From long time you are, and even in the some kind of stories in the movies in the cinemas, you must have seen this. This traditional method of capturing fish. Traditional method of capturing fish using net, right? So using nets and gear operated fishing vessels are also used. Okay, so includes these include this includes fishing fishing net and gear operated fishing vessel and gear operated fishing vessels. Okay, so now in case of the modern method, number two is the modern method. um, so in case of this, we are taking the help of the satellites, okay, and the use of echo sounder or some kind of sound production instrument device that helps to locate the fish in the seas and the oceans. So okay, so here we are doing using the satellite. Okay, these include these includes use of echo sounder or producing the echo sounder and satellite and satellite, so to know the group of fish, or you can say fish to locate fish show to locate fish shoals. Okay, fish shoals means a large group of fish, okay, swimming in a group. So that to locate that, so that it will be easy to catch. Okay, if we know the location where they are present, then it will be easy for us to catch them. So that for that purpose, echo sound is, okay, a kind of device which produces sound, echo sound, and to know the distance or to know the location of the fish shoals, okay, or the satellite. These are used. Okay, so that is it. Now, culture of marine fishes, fin fishes, shellfishes, and seaweeds is called mariculture. In case of the marine, whatever related with the marine water, it's called mariculture. So, what is mariculture? It may be asked. So, mariculture, mariculture. So, related with the marine, everything that is. So, culture of marine fin fishes, marine fin fishes. Then comes the shellfishes and seaweeds is called mariculture. Mariculture. Okay, now that means seaweeds. Okay, some types of seaweeds are also uh, obtained. Okay, or it is cultured. So this is called this. All this comes under culture of marine fishes, shellfishes, because these mollusks and all the crab and all, these are also some kind of these shellfishes. found in the marine water, and this comes under mariculture. Okay. Now, the another important point that we have got, the now there is inland fisheries and in the marine fisheries. In case of this was the mariculture, so this about includes about the seas and the oceans. Now is the inland fisheries. Inland fisheries means uh, the one that is the water bodies that is on the you know within the mainland, like the lakes, uh, ponds, rivers, okay, etc. So that will comes under the inland fisheries here. Okay. So this is the inland fisheries deal with fresh water, as I told you earlier, right? So this deals with fresh water, uh, like in rivers, canals, reservoirs, and lagoons, okay, and brackish water fisheries, okay, little muddy water, brackish water fisheries. So now you have understood that there are basically two kinds depending on the type of the water. When we say inland, it is mainly concerned with the fresh water bodies, and in case of mariculture, it is the seas and the water of the seas and the oceans, okay, and the culture that related with this culture of marine fish, shellfish, and seaweeds, that all comes under the mariculture. Okay. Now the most important part is coming, that is the inland fishery is also of two types, that is the capture fishery and culture fishery. Okay. So the most important topic is for the examination point of view, and also to know about the concept. Okay, for higher when you go to the higher classes. Okay, this will be very, very important. Okay, the most important topic from this chapter. Okay, it is the composite fish culture. Composite fish culture, the most important topic. Nowadays, this composite fish culture has become one of the important technique in aquaculture or pisciculture. Okay, so this is actually in intensive fish farming, and this can be done. This is done by including, you can say, both imported and the indigenous species. Okay, so indigenous means, like you have studied in the cattle farming and poultry farming, that there are some kind of breeds that we find in our country, and some breeds has been brought in our country from foreign countries. Okay, and then they are acclimatized. Okay, and some we have some of the variety or breeds we have got is the improved. Okay, improved variety by crossing between the this exotic, or you can say the foreign, brought from the foreign, and the indigenous. Okay, so that is the your two types. Okay, indigenous. And so here, in case of this also complete figure. So first point is that intensive fish farming, intensive fish farming can be done in composite fish culture, system. Okay, fish culture system, both local, or you can say indigenous, both local. So why we are using the local word? Because there are some kind of fishes which are found in certain region of the our country. Okay, so both local and and imported fish species are used. Fish species are used in such system, in composite in such system. So this is about the composite fish culture. Okay, or you can say where we are using the more than one breed. Okay, trying to grow, trying to uh, culture more than one variety or one breed in one water bodies. Okay, so what happens normally is the in such system a combination of five or six, and as I told you, more than one, five or six fishes or five or six fish species is used in a single fish pond, and these species are selected so that they do not compete food among themselves, and they share different ecological niche or different food habits. Okay, for example, I tell you there's some kind of fishes that are only the surface feeder, and there are some kind of fishes they are the column feeder in the middle part of the pond water. Okay, and some are the bottom feeder, they are staying normally at the bottom and lower side of the pond, and they are eating from the bottom side. Okay, so that way they are not interfering the foods of each other. So this is a technique where we can grow more than one variety. Okay, two, three, or five, six different breeds in at the same time in a single pond. Okay, so that is the technique. So what happens in such pond? This was about number one, and this is about the number two. So in such a system, such a system, a combination of five or six fish species is used used in a single fish pond. These species are selected so that they are set in such a way that they are not going to interfere uh, each other's food habit. Okay, so that they uh, do not compete for for food among them among them having different food habit. So it means that they are not going to interfere. So some will be the column feeder, that means they are taking the food from the middle portion of the pond, and some will be taking from the bottom side. So they are not going to interfere with any. Okay, so food habits. Okay, so this is how they are they are done, this culture is done. This is the main the technique, the point. Okay, if we know the which particular species of fish is having what kind of food habit, okay, so then we can easily combine different species of fishes, okay, and then we can culture, grow, okay, the fishes in a one pond, and at the same time, so that will be more advantageous because it saves the time, and also we are getting more than one or two varieties, more than two varieties of breeds of the fishes. Okay, so now another point is there, the why is how is this, with some example we'll also see that as cattle are surface feeder, as cattle are surface feeder, surface feeder, rohu, this must be underlined, this is a scientific name, catla must be, C must be capital, as catla are surface feeder, rohu in the middle, rohu in the middle June, okay, of the pond, of the pond, and mrigal, the Srihanas mrigala, okay, this is the mrigal, and common. Common calves means the one which are commonly found, and they are normally the bottom feeder. So whatever that will be. Excuse me, student. So common carps, you know the carps, the bony fishes. Okay, they are the carp. So mrigal and other common carps. Okay, so common carps, common carps. Okay, feed on the aquatic weeds. Feed on the aquatic weeds. So at the you can see the bottom. So catla being the surface feeder, and the rohu being the middle feeding in the middle zone of the pond, and mrigal and other common calves, they feed on the aquatic weeds. That means they are feeding on the bottom of the pond. So they are not interfering the food habit of each other. So that way we are able to grow at the same time in the same pond, right? So all these three. So this is the main principle of composite fish culture. Composite means having the in a same, composite together, right? Composite fish culture. So this is the main technique behind this composite fish culture, a principle you can say. So this provides some advantages, some kind of advantages, and that is the number one is uh, these fish do not compete for the food. Number of that advantage. These fish do not compete for food. Okay. Number two is the food available in all parts of the pond is used. The food available in all parts of the ponds are used. Okay. Number three is the six different types of fishes are reared together. Okay, six different types of fishes can be reared by this technique. This is can be reared at one time. Okay, this is the advantage. And number four, it gives very high yield. It gives very high yield. The production is very high. Okay, so production yield is high. So this is the advantage. These are the different advantages. You see, first one is that they are not competing for the food with each other. So that is one of the advantage point. Okay, so they are not going to compete. The food available in all parts, in the bottom, middle zone, or in the surface, these all are utilized, and up to six different types of fishes can be reared, and this gives a very high yield. So these are the advantages of the composite fish culture, right? So this was all about the fishery. Okay, I told you that examples of the marine fishes, example of the freshwater, that is rohu, katla, and all. So example you have to remember, and also you should know that what is composite fish culture, what are the different types of fisheries, okay, and depending based on the marine water, based on the fresh water, then we have got the okay, shell fishes, fin fishes, and capturing fishing, capture fishing, culture fishing, all this we discussed. So this was all about the fishery, and thank you for joining and listening. So we'll meet again in the next class. Thank you for joining and listening. Bye, goodbye.